Hi everyone. In this presentation, adopting a cognitive approach to transmedia storytelling, we propose a methodology for composing portfolio journeys out of episodic experiences.
So transmedia storytelling would be about a logic of dispersal of pieces and integration of pieces, in which each of those pieces adds something new to the experience of the whole.
Accordingly, the whole storyness is better characterized as a sense that belongs to a synchronized journey, a sense that can be more or less felt by viewers or readers, depending on the relationships established between chunks or pieces of texts. Talking about Jenkins' transmedia storytelling structure, Janet Murray stresses that.
But I think that you have to structure those moments. They have to be really clearly authored. It can't be just, you can't just say, oh, people will just explore. You have to have a reason and an idea in mind. If I look at this, it's going to tell me who did the murder, or it'll tell me, and then you have to reward that, but with some surprise, and you have to do it in a brief amount of time. So yeah, I think that the transmedia structures are appealing.
Surprise, in a brief amount of time, is usually accompanied by the sense of spark, the same kind of spark that rewards our moments of creativity. In The Origin of Ideas, Mark Turner argues that, to see a human spark, we will need to take a journey through some territory that we know well at the unconscious level, but poorly at the conscious level. Blending, a complex cognitive process that creates a network out of two, or more, input spaces, are around us. We make them and remake all the time, by means of compressions and decompressions. In transmedia storytelling, the most influential narrative paradigm is the hero's journey pattern. In his influential book, The Hero of 1,000 Faces, Campbell claims that all myths follow the same structural three-acts pattern. Act 1. An individual is invited to take on a journey. Act 2. In doing so, he, or she, faces many challenges and obstacles before attaining the goal. Act 3. Eventually returning, transformed, to the world from which he, or she, has come. Consider the following 3 minutes animation.
A white smoke has been detected at the heart of the jungle. Would it be a call for help? There is no rescue team in the area. We may return any time with more information. Good news. A coordinated rescue operation has started.
The video tells the story of a boy who starts a rescue journey to the Amazon jungle, impelled by the emotional concern expressed by a journalist girl, creates a hard-time situation to himself, ends up rescued, recognizing his misconception about the girl, and valuing her leadership, at the Storytelling Academy. Events are connected in a causal chance way, by means of two conjoined stories. So, the story compresses a vast amount of the boy and the girl's actions, over time. The structure facilitates the design of complex, fictive causality, typical of Janet Morrow's replay story. When modeling an episodic experience, the author counts on her memory, for bringing to the present, moments in the past, that are unrelated to the present. So, although different, the various events constitute a pattern. A blended identity. This is me now, presenting myself through a portfolio. Would argue the author. Not a me-self, but a representation of a generalized self, starring a journey. Follow the animation.
It's September 2017. Zoe, a professor at the university, thinks about how to encourage students to learn more DIY tools. She, who loves to tell stories, then decided to join the two themes and launched a mini-course, Digital Storytelling, Do-It-Yourself. 15 students signed up. They learned, over 5 encounters, about the structures of a minimal story, how to differentiate simple stories from complex ones, and finally, they were introduced to DIY digital editing tool, Go Animate for Schools. Happy with the receptivity of the students, Zoe decides to introduce them to mini tales of terror, which had in them concepts of cognitive dissonance, which should be translated into 2-minute videos. The students then chose 4 short stories to work on. The first was, "My wife woke me up last night to tell me there was an intruder in our house. She was murdered by an intruder 2 years ago." That has turned into the short video.
The Intruder.
The shortest and most dissonant was, "And now, you and me," he said, drawing his dagger into the mirror room. Which resulted in the following short story.
Dream Mirror.
Somewhat agonizing was, "I can't move, breathe, speak or hear, and it's so dark all the time. If I knew it would be this lonely, I would have been cremated instead." Of which the video is.
On the Grave.
And finally, the final tale was Staring Cat, whose story can be understood in the following video. Zoe, very happy with the results, decided to register the mini course through the portfolio. It was a great experience, both for Zoe and for the students, who set out to participate in future mini courses.
The complete video, including the 4 short stories, can be watched on the YouTube at Cogretro Studio. The integration of story portfolios into a synchronized journey may take a variety of forms. It may set 2 alternative readings in the same episode. It may be just one complex story containing simpler components. Or it may integrate 2 or more simple or complex episodes with 1 or more characters along the journey. See, for example, the animation Follow the Storyteller at Cogretro Studio. Life is a journey is a well-known metaphor we live by. Originally, it follows a source path goal schema. However, as argued in this presentation, a cognitive transmedia journey requires an explicit work of chunking and integration of pieces, involving complex causality, different points of views and interpretations, alternativity, compressions, and decompressions. For that purpose, we suggest that portfolio is a journey in episodes, and life is a starring journey.